Hello, this is Peter Combs from Bidamount.com and P.O. Combs Asian Art in Gloucester, Massachusetts. And today is June 5th, 2018. And in this video, we're going to talk a little bit about our old pals down in Marietta, Georgia, the Eden Gallery in Georgia. You may remember them, those of you that follow our videos. These are the guys that have regular two-day auctions on and off of reproductions and fakes. We thought they had morphed over into the Lauren Gallery just up the street, who ran virtually identical sales. But apparently they either are running both or they are, in fact, two separate organizations. I find it hard to believe, though. But at any rate, this is their upcoming sale. And if you come over to their website and click auctions, you'll see them both listed. It's not on their homepage, though. They haven't bothered to update their homepage to advertise this sale yet. But they probably will at some point. The sale is going to take place on June 6th and 17th, 2 days, on Saturday and a Sunday, and we're just going to give you all a heads up and a warning to stay away from it. And one of the latest, most interesting twists on all this is this. As you know, there's this whole thing about coming up with fake receipts, and we've seen them from Spinks and Spielman Gallery, all the famous London and European dealers and American dealers. Well, now they've got a new twist on it. They have this one, and I saw this receipt, and I said, H. Hartchick Company. That's interesting. These are this was a huge grocery store in San Francisco for a very long time. Staples and fancy groceries, provisions, wines, and liquors. All right, and they were in business from the I think about 1880 until maybe the 1970s. At any rate, somebody found an old receipt from there, it looks like, and they filled it in. And on it, they added Chinese art, which is rather hilarious. And you have these all penciled in, and it looks like some of these numbers were added by different writers, people using different pens and so forth to give it some look of authenticity, I guess. But it's all nonsense. So just bear that in mind. And one of the things that we saw on their website for their upcoming sale was this moon flask, and a lot of you will recognize this. This is a copy of, and not a great copy, but a decent copy of the one that was sold at Christie's on May 30th of this year. And there it is. This is the Christie's catalog, and this is a real one. And the one that they have is an obvious knockoff of it. This is the copy. And if you look at the two, you know, trying to spot copies isn't always easy. But if you're not that familiar with it, if you look at the two, you know, carefully, you can just see the instant difference between the two. It's not hard to do. And the foot on the copy on this one is not done properly, and there's a whole lot wrong with it. But at any rate, we'll just say it for what it is. And then they have this pair. These are a pair of alleged Qinlong Marken period pots. Here they are, jars on stands. And a lot of this stuff are alleged to have come from a collector named Cecil Knight Jr., whose father, Cecil Knight Sr., had collected them all. And this is the collector that had those Hartchick supermarket receipts, all right? And this is one of the items. And this is another, just so you know, I mean, the estimates on this stuff is very low. If these were real, they'd be well into six figures. And of course here they have 5 bids, it's only up to $900. So that tells you really what you need to know. It tells you that people that know this stuff aren't going for it, but the people that don't know much will, unfortunately, and get taken. And then again, of course, like the Lauren sale, Eden has one of these underglazed red dragon, iron red dragons with cobalt and a Qinlong mark and all that good stuff. Just, you know, competently painted, but not authentic. And then they have this. This absolutely floored me that they had the audacity to put this in. This is supposedly a pair of Jiajing Ming iron red and underglazed blue jars. And the reality, the Chinese in the Ming Dynasty didn't typically make pairs very often. So if these were real, they'd be, you know, worth, you know, well into 7 figures, no doubt. Right now they are, and they're not fooling anybody, because right now they've got 3 bids and they're up to $800 for the pair. And then you have this. This is the Daosai Chenhua stem cup. that they've concocted. Here it is, again, inheritance of Cecil Knight, and it's supposedly on this receipt. We couldn't figure out where it was, but they claim it's part of that hoard. And then there's a pair of tea dust glazed and gilt jars on stand, okay? Obviously copies. And what's really strange about this is that the faker did them in a shape that is I can't think of any that I've ever seen that were real done in this palette in that shape. So at any rate, I don't know where they got the idea, and they've got a couple of bids. They're up to $600. And then you have this. This is really fascinating. This is supposed to be a three-colorware Wan Li dish, also from this collection. And there's that label, and here's the back of it, with this rather poorly done, oversized, disproportional mark. The glaze is atrocious running around this thing. And the other thing, one of the big giveaways is that when you have this many extremely rare pieces, when they're authentic, they don't end up in Georgia. Okay, guys, they just don't. And then they had this, the Wan Li Marken period dish with the iron red carp on it, and that's only up to a few $100s as well, $600. And in the sale, they have a pair. Get this, a pair of Wan Li. These are brush handles, for painting. And they have this one, and then they have this one. And they also have another one of these knockoffs of these red ground and yellow jars, just like Lauren Gallery had. They've gotten them again this time. They seem to have them in almost every sale. It's pretty miraculous. And they have this Wutsai Jiajing, allegedly Marken period jar. Unfortunately, the artist didn't know what color green to use, which is really strange. But at any rate, they've got that. And then there's this jar, this vase rather, which is supposedly Wan Li Wutsai. It isn't. It's brand new. It's a knockoff. It's on that list allegedly. And here's the decoration. And it's, these are hand painted. It's just that the work is wrong. The color of the yellows are wrong, and so forth. And some of the pieces I've noticed they're rubbing them down now to make them look like they have a little bit of wear. But at any rate, here's the bottom of it. That's really a big giveaway. That's not what the bottom of one of these looks like. The paste, the color is all wrong from the get-go. And then they have this, supposedly a Yung Lo. They think it's possibly Yung Lo period Ming dish. Really atrocious. And there's a lot of other stuff in this sale. They always seem to have a lot of these sort of monumental cloisonné pieces that are being produced today in China. This is a pretty obvious knockoff. They also have some Tibetan bronzes that are highly suspect, along with jades, paintings, so forth. It's just ridiculous. But at any rate, for those of you that are browsing the web, just remember these guys are back at it again, and stay away from them. All right. And we'll be doing the review of the Christie's, Sotheby's, and Bonham's Hong Kong sales this week, and we're working on a video on something else that we'll be putting up, and that's it. So have a great week, and I hope you all find something interesting out there to buy. And if you're not a subscriber here yet on YouTube, please subscribe. We do these videos often. If you're a collector, come over to Bidamount.com and sign up for the forum and get the newsletter. And I hope you take part with us. All right. Have a great week, and see you all next time. Bye-bye.